Wade Peary back with another video for Star Spangled Sports. Want to talk about the Supreme Court case. This is a major Supreme Court case. Supreme Court case. This is headed up by a man by the name of Jeffrey Kessler. If you guys do not know the name of Jeffrey Kessler is the NCAA's worst nightmare. This is a man who really should be called the Michael Jordan of sports law. He is that big. He is really the biggest sports attorney in the history of law. Jeffrey Kessler has been on a number of cases over the years. He's done some cases against the NFL. And he is actually confident that the NCAA is going to lose this case and that players are going to get compensated. So basically, the idea of player compensation gets really complicated, all right? I think that all players should get paid a flat amount, especially for men's college basketball and college football. I know that there's a lot of other athletes that are going to say, what about me? But the fact of the matter is, your sport does not generate revenue. It does not help. It does not help bring in advertising dollars to the school. It doesn't increase applications to the school. So, when these teams make big NCAA tournament runs or if they make a big college football run, usually applications go up for the school. And I thought it was interesting how Pat McAfee noted on his show about Steve Slayton and Pat White, how they essentially built West Virginia. The facilities got better. The coaches got richer, but guess what? Steve Slayton and Pat White didn't get a dime. And not only that, Pat White got hurt very early in his NFL career. So, Pat White probably wouldn't have been a good NFL player, but the fact of the matter is this, is players in the NCAA and men's college football and college basketball, they need to get paid, because you can't tell me that a coach like Nick Saban deserves $10 million and that all of his players can just, they get a free scholarship and then they get a free, you get all your meals paid for and everything like that. But the amount of time, energy, and effort that these players put into being a Division I athlete, they don't have time to do anything else. And not only that, the players that can major in like biochemistry, like Craig Krenzel of Ohio State, like he's just a freak of a human being, like there's just, to be able to, you gotta get up in the morning, you gotta lift, and then you gotta go to class, and then you gotta go watch film, and then you gotta go to practice. So, the schedules for these players in the NCAA, to me, the fact that they're not compensated, the fact that they haven't been compensated, I get that it's kind of a complicated question to answer, but I do agree with Pat McAfee that the name, image, and likeness will help solve that equation, because, maybe a player wants to sell helmets on like a website or something, helmets, jerseys that they sign. To me, players should definitely be able to make money off of that while they're playing. Well, why shouldn't they? Because they're the ones that built their own brand. Like, sure, they wouldn't be playing as well if it weren't without if it were without the coaches bringing them there, of course. But the player at the end of the day has to do all the work, and the player's the one making all the plays out on the field. You look at a guy like Reggie Bush, who He's one of the most electrifying players in the history of football, period, at USC. But, the Heisman Trust decided to take away Reggie Bush's Heisman over him accepting the money for his parents getting like a house. I think they got like a couple $100,000 for a house they stayed in. But to me that was just ridiculous. That whole scandal. Not only the Heisman Trust has not given Reggie Bush his Heisman back, and they definitely need to give his Heisman back, because guess what? Money is not a performance-enhancing substance. Reggie Bush earned that money fair and square. So, there are a lot of players over the years in the NCAA that have gotten paid that we might not know about. And to me, I just think that, the rules are the rules right now, and you got to play by the rules. But to me, the NCAA is it's an archaic system. Anyone that follows the NCAA knows how outdated a lot of the rules and regulations are for the NCAA. I mean, Maurice Clarett couldn't go home to his friend's funeral when he was at Ohio State. This is one of the greatest running backs, in college football history. So I just think the NCAA, their whole system of not paying the players, it is easier to not pay the players and just say, oh, well, here's your scholarship and here's your free room and board and all your meals. And I'm not saying that doesn't have any value, but a lot of the players are going to get degrees that, the classes aren't going to be that hard, because there's simply not enough time for school. And you cannot blame the players in this respect. And they should have been compensated a long time ago. A lot of people are going to say, well, a lot of the athletic departments don't make a lot of money. But Pat McAfee made a good point about how, a lot of the athletic departments will essentially say, they'll build a new facility, and that doesn't go down as profit, or, they kind of spin the books to make it look like they're not making a profit. But it's like, guess what? Without those players, you wouldn't be able to build all those new facilities. You wouldn't have all these different applications coming into your university. You wouldn't have hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising exposure in, the NCAA basketball tournament or the college football playoff. If you make the college football playoff, that is an endless amount of advertising for the university, the athletic department, the football program, basketball program, whatever it is. To me, it's been long overdue. It's been long overdue, and I'll be honest. Several years ago, I used to think that players didn't deserve to get paid. But, talking to a number of the players, some players couldn't put gas in their car. A lot of these players, they come from backgrounds where their parents don't have the money to send them money in college. So the players need to be compensated, right? I'm not saying they need to be multimillionaires in college, but you know what? If they are able to make multiple millions off of their name, image, and likeness, then so be it, because the market is going to decide what their name, image, and likeness is worth. So if someone wants to pay hundreds of dollars for their jersey to get signed, then, the players should be able to profit off of that. It's kind of ridiculous that it has taken so long. The NCAA is just stuck in the ice age. It's just the most archaic system ever. But Jeffrey Kessler, one of the biggest sports lawyers in the history of law, is on this case. And quite honestly, if you're the players, that is the one guy that you want representing you, because there's really no one better at this, and there's no one that would be a better fit for this case. So when the Supreme Court hears a sports law case, this is a huge deal, not only for college basketball, college football, and just all these universities. It has been long overdue that these players deserve to get compensated. You know, you look at how incredible a player like Zion Williamson was at Duke. You mean to tell me he didn't deserve like money off of, signing jerseys, sneakers, whatever? Zion Williamson could have made so much more money at Duke. Reggie Bush, that guy was one of the most electrifying players in the history of college sports. And you mean to tell me you're going to take away his Heisman because his parents got to live in like a really nice house? It was like a couple $100,000 the rent was for a couple years. But it's just ridiculous. You're gonna treat Reggie Bush like a horrible person. USC banned him for, I think it was like 10 years. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's like Reggie Bush added so much value to USC and just the program and just the glitz and the glamour. And God, that team with Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Dwayne Jarrett, Lindell White, that was one of the best teams in college football history. And you mean to tell me the best player on that team that USC had to like scrub him from their books? He has been welcomed back into USC, and that should have been done long ago. But the Heisman, Reggie Bush's Heisman, they should definitely give him his Heisman back. But the NCAA is. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with in terms of compensation for all the players in college football and college basketball, because the name, image, and likeness thing is a great step in the right direction. I think that the players actually deserve to be compensated on top of that. So I think that it should be a flat structure for all the teammates. And that way it would make it easier. But we'll just have to see what they come up with. This is long overdue. Players in college football and college basketball deserve to get paid. So let me know what you think in comments below about compensation, college athletics. Wade Peary, Star Spangled Sports.